We are just off the strip in Las Vegas for the championship of the WAC Tournament. For Hawaii and three-time Conference Player of the Year Kanani Danielson, tonight is an opportunity to plead their case for a top seed in the NCAA tournament. For New Mexico State and Freshman of the Year Meredith Hayes, a win tonight is a must to punch their ticket to the postseason. The 2011 WAC Championship starts now. We're in Las Vegas for the start of the holiday weekend, and it is a lively crowd at the Orleans Arena for the WAC Volleyball Championship between New Mexico State and third-ranked Hawaii. Taking a look at how these two teams reached the finals, for New Mexico State in the bottom of the bracket, 2 consecutive sweeps. But for Hawaii, a tough match last night against Fresno State. 3-2 was the final for the Wahine. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us. I'm Anne Marie Anderson alongside former USC captain Kelly Tennant. And Kelly, as I mentioned, Hawaii has struggled in this tournament.
They have. Last night it went to 5 sets with Fresno State, and last year in this tournament they were swept by Utah State. So they really have a lot to prove tonight.
Meanwhile, these two teams met earlier this season, and that was a tough match as well. Hawaii won, but it was with a lot of effort.
Well, the problem Hawaii is having that we saw last night and the last time they met with New Mexico State is their passing. Very poor passing, and they have to improve that tonight to be competitive.
With that said, there's some great volleyball to be had tonight. One of the best players in the country against a freshman who has taken this conference by storm. 2
very different players, but so great on the outside. We'll start with the very dynamic senior, Kanani Danielson for Hawaii. 3-time WAC Player of the Year. She will be roll shotting, tipping, hitting cross court, cutting some shots back that they least expect, but she needs to play very well tonight for this Hawaii team. And we'll change over to Meredith Hayes, the dynamic freshman for New Mexico State, WAC Freshman of the Year. She has made herself heard on the outside with some nice hitting, but she's kept her errors low, and that's really what sets her apart.
Mike Jordan is the head coach of the Aggies, 14th year at New Mexico State, 5 times Conference Coach of the Year. And Dave Shoji, one of the great all-time coaches, leads up the Rainbow Wahine. 37 years at the helm. He's made 29 trips to the NCAA tournament, 2-time National Coach of the Year.
New Mexico State serving set 1.
So we mentioned that New Mexico State took Hawaii to 5 in their first meeting earlier this year to 5 sets. We will see if they have Hawaii's ticket as Jenna DeVries, a senior out of Sedalia, Colorado, serves. And immediately it's Brittany Hewitt from behind the setter.
Hewitt is a great middle, and I like her behind the setter early in this game. Hawaii needs to establish their middles early so they can take some pressure off Kanani on the outside.
Yeah, Kanani Danielson is up front on the outside now as freshman Jane Croson serves. And how do you like that toss? Serve goes long.
She's a very consistent server, even with that toss, and I watch it. I don't know how she does it, but it's up high. She gets a lot of power behind it. I think she'll do pretty well on that back line tonight.
Meredith Hayes, the freshman from Texas you told us to look for, is in the backcourt serving. And there's Danielson. Starts off with a roll shot, and I think they were expecting some power.
Well, the thing about Danielson that you have to watch out for is she's not consistent with her choices of how she's going to hit. There will be a tip, then she'll crank one to that back line, then she'll go cross court. You really have to stay on your toes.
Brittany Hewitt serves. Behind the setter, little hole in the block is big enough for Kelsey Brennan.
Brennan hits that ball hard and strong, so she goes into the hands and it comes down on that Hawaii side. If she can continue to do that, she can be pretty successful and she won't have to go up and over.
Janae Coppage out of Las Cruces, New Mexico, serving. A defensive specialist for this Aggie team. Outside to Danielson. That time she put some power on the outside.
This New Mexico State block has to have the correct timing on Danielson. They can block her. She is stoppable, but they have to get up with her, press over at the right time. The setter, Mito Uiato, serving.
that ball just long. 2 consecutive service errors for the Wahine.
The rule is when you're back there serving, if the person missed before you, you have to make that next serve. And that's really a matter of focus and concentration on what you're doing.
Brittany Rogers, a senior from Iowa City, Iowa. Croson gets the pass up with some effort. And an overpass is hit out by Adolpho.
Adolpho needs to step back 1 step and get on top of that ball. She was behind it too much, so really the only choice that she had was to go out of bounds.
Rogers continues to serve. And so many service errors early in this set, Kelly.
Well, we've seen them on not only the jump serve, but the float. If you're floating and it's going out of bounds like that, you have to just take a little off so that it can drop about a foot inside that line.
And Jane Croson back up front, number 11 in white.
Croson smart on this play, presses over, she sees it coming, but she stays strong with her positioning at the net.
Outside, it's Doug. Backcourt attack from Danielson. Crushes it.
That's what New Mexico State has to be prepared for. Danielson not only strong on the outside, but great in the backcourt, as you see that set coming from behind her, and she's smart enough to stay behind the ball and get on top of it.
Danielson serving. Behind the setter, the ball hit the antenna, are they calling it? No, they're not calling it that way. They're saying it's a blocking error.
I think Croson touched the net or the antenna on that one. She's laughing it off. It's okay, it's early in the match. You can afford a few mistakes.
Coach said she's easygoing. He likes that about her. Ziegler, one of the outsides for the Aggies serving. Outside. Croson finds the floor.
Croson hits a pretty fast ball on the outside, so in order to block that ball, you have to have some fast footwork out there. And you see that block does not close. They need to close, be hip to hip when they go up to block her because it's faster.
Emily Maeda serving, the libero in the black jersey. And there's Meredith Hayes, his first swing of the day. Croson uses, Croson hits the antenna.
Now the antenna is out of bounds, so you have to hit within the antenna and it cannot hit the antenna, otherwise it's out of bounds. So as long as you keep it inside there, you're good.
Kelsey Phillips puts in a tough serve. Croson keeps it in play. Middle attack is good. Michelle Kuster.
Kuster with a very nice adjustment. That set was far too low for her. It could have been about a foot higher so she could reach, but she dropped that elbow and made the adjustment.
Kelsey Phillips in the white jersey is the libero for the Aggies. Defensive specialist Maeda, perfect pass. And just couldn't get out of her own way.
We've seen a couple plays like that out of New Mexico now. They need to communicate, stay on their toes, and be ready for things just falling over, whether it be a tip or a roll shot. They have to pick those up and do something with it.
Sophomore Emily Hartong serving. Hayes. And she hits that ball wide.
That ball's tough when it's out of system. You get a poor pass, you try and save it with a bump set, but she needs to wait a little longer and know her positioning on the court. In that case, I think she should have faced that middle back so that it at least just stayed in the court.
And a service error for Hartong.
It's not the passing that's hurting Hawaii right now, it's the serving. Too many errors. They need to focus on that back line. You can't take that time you have back there for granted. Just take a breath and serve over the net.
Outside, Croson quickly with a kill.
Croson so good out there picking that corner inside the 10-foot line right over the left front. Difficult because that left front doesn't want to get up and take it with her hands, so if you can go right over her into the corner, it's a money shot.
Croson, an excellent beach player. Puts up a tough serve, ball goes outside to Hayes, who uses The block of Mita Uyato.
If you can use Uyato's hands, that's a great, great thing. You can get a tool which equals a kill. If it goes off those hands out of bounds, that's a kill, and Hayes saw those hands early.
The WAC Freshman of the Year, Meredith Hayes, serving. Goes right at Maeda. And there's another attack from Hewitt, this one long.
Hewitt has to make sure that when she swings, she snaps her wrist. She has a tendency to end flat at the end of her hit. She has to snap her wrist so that it falls down into the court rather than about a foot out.
Hayes serves again. They go back to Hewitt. Phillips chases it down and puts up a ball for Hayes. Kanani Danielson shuts down New Mexico State.
Hawaii takes really good control of that play. Very quick on all accounts. A quick overpass, they pass fast, a nice quick set out to Kanani Danielson, and she takes advantage.
Danielson up front and dangerous. Shut down, a roof from Stephanie Ziegler.
Let's see that from the net cam now. Perfect footwork on the outside. Great movement, very simple to get out there by Ziegler.
7 ties in an 11-11 game. Trading blow for blow. Danielson again from a tough angle. Goes just a little bit long.
Good idea though, a roll shot into that back court forces them to move their defense back or at least be ready to run that ball down.
Again, Ziegler puts up a block, a through ball for the Aggies. And big power from Brennan through Danielson's block.
Hawaii looking a little uncomfortable now. New Mexico State forcing them to make these unforced errors. They're not as tight-knit as they were at the beginning of the set.
Janae Coppage serves. The pass is too tight. Hayes tries to keep this in play. And there's Croson from the backcourt for the kill.
That's a huge advantage they have, is that their big outsides are good on the outside and out of the back row. There are no New Mexico State blockers up there on that back row attack. If you know that's coming, you have to have at least one person up there.
Mita Uyato serves, and that pass was a little bit over, and Adolpho waited for it.
Adolpho is good on those overpasses. She has the nice court awareness, just needs to take control like she did on that one every single time.
Hayes passes the ball, and she's going to get it back through the triple block, but it's long. Point for the Wahine. Mike Jordan arguing for a touch, but none called.
No touch called. It looked pretty close to me. She can get those hands as well. That helps. If you have a big block in front of you, use those hands. You don't have to go over or around them.
Passing, breaking down on both sides at this point. Outside. And the block from Hawaii. And we'll take our first timeout. Hawaii leads by 2. They have the WAC Player of the Year in Kanani Danielson with great power. How will New Mexico come up with an answer for Danielson? Welcome back. Hawaii with a 2-point lead early in set 1, and these two teams have quite a bit on the line today. Well, they want to get to the tournament.
They want to get to the tournament. They're playing very well right now, but without winning this WAC tournament, there is no chance for them to get there. And then Hawaii going to the tournament, but they want to keep their seed so they can be home for first and second rounds. And they're hosting a regional. They want to be there.
Yeah, they want to be at their own regional. They have one of the best crowds in all of college volleyball. Ziegler from the outside. Danielson sends it long. Phillips chases it down. And it is a free ball. That ball hit the antenna from Danielson. That's her third hitting error.
That's one of the problems when you're getting so many sets, is you're bound to have hitting errors. I think she's trying a little too hard to mix in those roll shots. We've seen quite a few of those. As long as she's getting a good set, I think she should swing away. She does not have two big blockers in front of her. And an ace! The interesting thing about that is their focus was to keep the ball away from Kanani Danielson, yet they choose to serve her on that one, maybe not on purpose, but it works to their advantage.
Brittany Rogers, the senior. This time she stays away from Danielson, and Danielson answers back.
That's what she has to be doing. You get a good set, she needs to go up and swing away. They need big play out of her tonight to get back into their rhythm. They have been struggling, especially last night. They need that confidence boost.
That ball is up. Croson. Hayes from the backcourt against a triple block. Strong blocking, but in the end, it's Kalei Adolpho in the middle.
That up by Kanani in that last play was so impressive. A nice pancake. She just slides her hand right under that ball to get it up. That's huge. I could never perfect that one, but pretty good by her.
Kanani Danielson continues to serve. And a kill for Desiree Scott.
Scott finding that seam, going to Kanani Danielson's left. The key is to not hit at people. If you can go a few feet to their left or right, that makes them move, and you have a good shot at getting a kill.
Ziegler serves. Kalei Adolpho with a kill.
Adolpho stepping up big now, not just with the blocks, but with the offense. Hawaii needs that. Establish a lot of different players in your offense, especially going into tournament time, so you have those options.
Emily Maeda, the libero, serves for the Wahine. Outside to Hayes, pushes it through the block. Back to Hayes. Danielson from the backcourt is dug. Ziegler from the backcourt this time. Croson ends it with a kill.
Anne-Marie, the biggest problem I'm seeing right now is that New Mexico State is not putting up a competitive block on anyone, anywhere on the court, whether it be outside, middle, back row. They have to get two people up. That should be all they're focusing on right now.
Yeah, and I'm sure Mike Jordan seems to agree, as they have to answer for Jane Croson, Kanani Danielson, and so many other weapons on Dave Shoji's team. Taking a look at Kanani Danielson so far today.
Big shots on the outside, mixing it up, playing some smart volleyball. She gets so many sets. It's very important for her to mix it up because that shoulder takes a beating all year round, and they need her fresh. It's her senior year. This is her chance to finish her career out on a high.
And one of the things that's unique about Kanani Danielson is she has to manage her body temperature. She doesn't sweat and cool herself off as easily as other people do. It's a factor for her. It's why she can't play very long in the sand.
Exactly. I think that is why they want to try and win as many three-set matches as possible so that she doesn't really have to think about that or deal with it at a high level. She can just relax and play her game, and they can get in and out.
We'll keep an eye on Danielson and see if she's having any trouble. They will use an ice vest for her occasionally to control her body temperature. And taking a look at Hawaii's resume, they have been impressive this year, Kelly, but critics of them say, yeah, they're 27-1. That one loss was to the one team, UCLA, who is in the top 10.
I think that the problem Hawaii is having is, and that will affect them going into the postseason, is they don't have an impressive preseason by any means. I think they needed a much harder schedule because throughout their entire conference, they're not playing big teams. So you get to the postseason, you haven't seen these top 10 teams, especially their freshmen. Kanani Danielson knows what she's dealing with, but many of these other players don't, so you need a tougher preseason to battle that.
Hawaii up by 3. Meredith Hayes taking a lot of swings already. Takes 2 more right there. Croson is dug by Phillips. 3rd swing of this rally for Meredith Hayes. And a misconnect for Hawaii with Hewitt. Hard-fought point for the Aggies.
I fear for Hayes because she's only a freshman. She's already taken over 1,200 swings. They need to establish some more weapons in the front row. They need some better passing so they can get their middles more involved.
Yeah, she's already taken 12 swings today with just 1 kill. Outside to Croson. That ball is kept in play, but then a ball handling error on the Aggies.
New Mexico needs some better passing here. They need some 2 and 3 passes. A lot of 1 passes, only 1 option with their offense. Has to get up at least high in the middle of the court so they can figure something out.
Yep, and a 2 and a 3 pass, just to explain the difference to people.
Now, a 2 and a 3, a 2 pass gives you 2 options with your hitters. A 3 gives you all 3 of your options. That's the goal. That's what you want to be doing as much as possible.
Croson, meanwhile, looks for the touch, does get the call. 5 kills for Jane Croson.
Croson having a very impressive season so far. Just a freshman, but really making herself known on this Hawaii team. She's a high flyer, very relaxed player, confident, pretty consistent out there.
Hawaii on a 6-2 run as Alex Griffith serves. Outside to Hayes. Croson picks up another kill.
And again, that is 1-on-1. She is getting 1 blocker in front of her, able to just hit right through those arms without a problem.
6 kills for Jane Croson. Leads all hitters right now in kills as Alex Griffiths, a senior from Seal Beach, continues to serve. Hayes. Danielson from the back court. Danielson again. And there's the middle for the Aggies with a little bit of celebration.
Good control on that. You just take hold of it and throw it down. Kanani with that overpass, she has to get some more control over that. Keep it at least 3 feet off the net so that they have some options going into their offense.
Jenna DeVries, the setter, serving for the Aggies. Danielson getting a lot of passes today. Croson is dug. Outside to Hayes, who puts a little pressure on the ball for a kill. Just her 2nd of the day.
Hayes getting a lot of touches. She has such a nice high swing on this last play. Up high and over, she goes cross her body down that line. Great technique, facing that cross court and then switching down the line.
Great pass by Danielson. It's up. Kuster sets it. Another tip. Ziegler from the back court. Danielson to Croson. There's the block. Ziegler from the back court. The Aggies close the gap.
That's how you finish a long rally. You got to put the ball away. And Uiato, Hawaii setter, needs to get the ball up for Hewitt. That ball, it needs to be at least 1.5 feet higher. Hewitt having to adjust every time. It's just not working.
Hawaii takes a timeout with their 2-point lead. Thursday, the 76 Classic begins with 2 games on ESPNU. First, at 2 Eastern, Boston College meets St. Louis. And at 9 Eastern, New Mexico takes on Santa Clara. The 76 Classic is part of Feast Week, presented by Lowe's on ESPNU Thursday. And Kelly, as we look at legendary coach Dave Shoji talking to this Hawaii team, we were talking before the match saying Hawaii's only really had one problem this year, but it's a big one.
It's a big one. You can't discount how important passing is, and they really have not been the best passing team that I have seen. They've struggled to get the ball up to get their offense some options. And honestly, you can't do anything without the pass. That establishes everything in your game. It can completely take you out of rhythm. And if you can't get the ball up, you're not able to set your big guns. And so a lot of times you're throwing the ball up to a Kanani Danielson. Yes, she's a great player, but it's not the kind of set that you want to be giving her.
And for the Aggies, their big gun is this freshman Meredith Hayes, who has a lot of attention and a lot of pressure on her as she takes a lot of swings on the ball. She only has 2 kills today.
Only 2 kills. She's trying her hardest. They're not passing very well either, and that is hurting them. Again, it establishes everything for you. They have to get the ball up high enough so that they can start doing some things with their offense. Right now, they're really struggling because of that beginning pass.
And to your point, Hayes has taken 16 swings at the ball. That's more than anybody else on the court. A roof block! Michelle Kuster for the Aggies.
Kuster finally got there, hip to hip with her outside blocker to put that ball down. Very close, she presses over, they have the right timing, they need to build upon that and do it again.
Danielson passes, but it's too tight. Kuster tries on the joust, and that ends a 4-0 Aggie run.
Uiato is a very good setter, and she's smart at that net. She knows that she needs to wait on that ball, let Kuster take the first one, and then she'll throw it back over.
Mike Jordan takes a timeout for his Aggie team. New Mexico has been out blocking Hawaii. Neither of these teams very big at the net physically.
No, so blocking is not going to be the biggest part of their game. It's obviously very important on any team, but their biggest thing is their defense and their good passing. If they can be good at those things, set the ball out to your hitters, they can put the ball away. But I don't think either of these teams are playing their very best volleyball by any means right now. They are in rhythm, out of rhythm, very inconsistent.
And this is the time of year where you do need to play your best volleyball. What a month it's going to be coming up here. We've got the selection show on Sunday where we will see how these teams are seeded. Then the regionals, so exciting. And as you mentioned, for Hawaii, critical that they play in their own region.
They really need to start playing their best volleyball. They've been struggling, again, with the passing. And in order to compete in the postseason, you have to start stepping up, really, is what you have to do, and playing better. And it's an exciting postseason, and New Mexico State really hoping that they can make it there. And with the way they're playing against Hawaii right now, I definitely think that's an option still.
Yeah, and for Hawaii, they want to be able to go back to the island and stay there for the first and second round. And of course, as I mentioned, they want to play, make it to the regional so that they can play in front of their great home crowd.
Exactly. It's a huge home court advantage when they can stay at home. Hawaii and Nebraska with the 2 greatest fans in the country, I think, in volleyball. And if they can be at home, they can really rock the house.
Croson with a high toss to her top spin serve. Interesting choice as she goes back to Michelle Kuster.
And that's forcing the middle there on not a very good pass. I think that she needed to go outside, set up the outside after that timeout.
Set point for Hawaii. Back again to Brennan. Danielson. It's long. No touch. And the Aggies have the ball with Meredith Hayes serving.
That's not characteristic of Danielson to miss a hit on a set point, and that just shows the way Hawaii is playing right now, that they're just not playing characteristic of their team.
It does remain set point, however, for Hawaii. And rally scoring, Hayes serving. Outside to Danielson. Hayes puts hands on the ball, but it's a kill, and the first set goes to Hawaii.
Hawaii closing out that set. Wasn't very pretty, but give the ball to Danielson. She knows how to finish. I like the roll shot down the line.
So Kanani Danielson, 3-time WAC Player of the Year, finishes it out with a little beach shot down the line. Hawaii takes the first set.